Hello, I'm Diane Richard, your host of Let's Talk. Hold on to your seats, or should I say, batter up. If you're a true fan of America's summer pastime, hot dogs and apple pie, you're going to really appreciate the two gentlemen who epitomize the boys of summer. First, allow me to take you back to April 21st, 1989, to the newly released film with Kevin Costner called Field of Dreams. Remember the catchphrase? If you build it, they will come. Well, it was built, and they surely did come. The two gentlemen I'm speaking of are Bill Zarakis and Kevin Kabala. They may not be household names to you yet, but listen to their story, and you will soon understand what it truly means to be committed to America's pastime, the game of baseball. Fun fact, on the site of the old Mayview State Hospital located in Upper St. Clair, a suburb of Pittsburgh, was a park. And now for many years, that park was part of Mayview State Hospital, where corn was planted to feed the cows, which were part of the dairy farm on the hospital property. When the property was ceded to the Upper St. Clair Township, a new community and recreation complex was developed right where the cornfield grew. As if by magic, a baseball field emerged out of the cornfields. This was truly a field of dreams. So now, you're probably wondering, what does Kevin Kabala and Bill Zarakis have to do with all of this? Well, sit back and listen to their amazing story of how they mastermind a project which, once a year, brought many of the Pittsburgh Pirates Fantasy Campers together for a die-hard day of playing baseball. You will not want to miss this amazing story. Join me as we speak with Kevin Kabala and Bill Zarakis and many of the Pirates Fantasy Camp players on Let's Talk.
And here we are, Betty. Another year, another day of baseball!
Hey everybody, welcome to the 9th annual Field of Dreams Games. It's such a great event. We do it every year. It benefits Pirates Alumni Charities. And you guys just love this. They come in, they get to play extra baseball. It's a tune-up before tomorrow's big reunion games at PNC Park. And it's all great. They see each other. They got these long-term friendships they renew here. And it really is all good. Let's go Bucks.
Let's play 3. Beautiful day. Didn't look that way all week. Maybe we don't get to play tomorrow. We get to play today. So let's play ball.
I am so excited. There's no rain. We're going to have a great day.
This is my man right here.
I'm here, baby. Hey, I'm here for you, baby.
So, in my research, I was reading that your parents owned this
My
land
parents
up here?
owned a house that was right across Mayview Road from this when it was part of Mayview State Hospital. And this was a big dairy farm here. And this was a cornfield right out here. And when they closed down the hospital, the state gave the land to the township of Upper St. Clair. And they decided to build this facility here. And one year, right before this ball field was almost open, Kevin Kabala, who I met at Fantasy Camp in 2005, we got to be friends. He was a policeman in Upper St. Clair, and my mom still lived over there. My dad was gone, and but Mom still lived over there. So Kevin, whenever I come up to see Mom, Kevin and I would get together, and one day we said, you know what, we need to play a game on that ball field over there, just Kevin and me. And we came over, and it was a day about like this. It was kind of cool and drizzly, but we came out here and we played a one-on-one baseball game. And we had a lot of imaginary men, and we had an agreement on that hit was a double, no, that was a single, that was a triple, oh, that was a home run, that sort of thing. And the game ended in a tie, of course.
Of course.
And so
that's only fair.
Right. And we were walking off the field, and one of us, I don't remember which one, said, we ought to get the campers out here to have a game. Because one year we had come up, I think it was 2006, we'd come up for the reunion game, and it got rained out. And so there was no baseball.
The reunion game at
PNC
Park.
Right.
Okay.
So there was no games to play. So we said, we ought to get the guys up here for a day of playing ball. And so we put that together in about 2 months. And I mean, it was really not anywhere near the scale it is now. And we had these little $1 grills that we bought at the dollar store and some hot dogs because we figured, we got to have something to eat. And Joe Billidoo and the Pirates, they were kind of like, I don't know about this, but they supplied us with the equipment and we made it work. We charged everybody $25 and then we made a donation to Pirate Alumni Charities. And so the next year, then Joe saw the benefit in it. Joe Billidoo did. And so
tell our viewers who Joe Billidoo is, for those who don't know.
Joe Billidoo is the coordinator for Fantasy Camp with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And Fantasy Camp is always held in
Bradenton, Florida in January. And then there's a reunion somewhere around May, June, somewhere in, it depends on what the Pirates' schedule is. And so everybody comes back to Pittsburgh to play in the reunion game. And so we said, well, the reunion game is always on a Saturday, so let's just come up on a Friday and have a day of baseball. And so we've been doing it. This is the 9th year, and we have raised over $17,000 for charity by these games.
For the Pirates Charities.
For the Pittsburgh Pirates Alumni Charities, right. And everybody loves it. It's a chance to spend some more time with your buddies because Fantasy Camp, when I first went to Fantasy Camp, I thought it was all about meeting the pros. And that's, don't get me wrong, that is still a very awesome thing.
A big part of it,
yes. But what becomes foremost in your mind is your friends, the new friends that you've made, because you all share something in common, and that's your love of baseball and your love of the Pirates.
Absolutely.
And so,
absolutely.
My mom's gone now, and the house been sold, and so there's nothing to bring me back to Pittsburgh anymore. I don't have any family up here anymore. Just I have some cousins, but no immediate family here. And so this gives me a reason to come back to Pittsburgh. And I like to come back to Pittsburgh. I can't handle the winter though.
I can't handle it either, and I live here.
When I was a paper boy, I used to deliver the Pittsburgh Press, and I can remember I was 11 years old. There was 18 inches of snow, and it was 24 degrees. And I said, I don't know where, but when I grow up, I'm going to live somewhere where it's warm in the winter. And I found it.
Awesome. So, out of the cornfield emerged the Field of Dreams.
Right.
Okay, and it was an awesome dream that you and Kevin had, and it has now come to a point where how many players play here now?
We have 3 games now. We actually had 4 at one point, but we have 3 games with around 12 to 14 guys on a team, and so that's 28 times 3. So there's an opportunity for a good many guys to come out and play,
and a good many contributions to the Pirates Charities.
Yep, that's right. And for years we would have matching contributions from like the Tribune.
Nice.
And
yes.
So that was great while it lasted.
Yeah.
We could always use another sponsor if anybody hears that.
Well, they'll hear it.
Yeah, that's great. And because it's all about a day of ball with your friends, doing something you love, and doing something good. What could possibly be wrong with that?
There's not a thing. And what's most amazing is, to me, after reading, how all of this came about. Because your mom lived across the road, and all of this emerged from just a cornfield.
Nope.
A dairy farm.
That was why we called it Field of Dreams.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because of the cornfield. And if you've seen the movie,
Kevin Costner.
and the cornfield. And so we just came up with that idea, and it blossomed into this.
So it was a build it and they will come.
Yeah, and that's
they
exactly
come.
right. We built the we built the game structure, and
Yes.
here they are.
And here they are.
The ghosts.
Awesome. Awesome.
Oh, this is the best fun a grown man can have. And you meet a whole bunch of really nice guys at fantasy camp, and it's kind of like a fraternity. So we all play together and you make friends for life, and you see people here and there at baseball games. So it's kind of cool.
So how long have you been coming to the Field of Dreams?
This would be my 7th time. I mean, they started it. Yeah, they started it a while ago, but this is my 7th appearance here, so it kind of like feels really good. This is I live for this. I wait for this every year.
Every
can't
year.
Wait. Yeah,
Awesome.
can't wait.
Awesome. So do you go to fantasy camp down in Bradenton?
Yes,
as well?
I do, and that's where I met all these guys. So that's also a bonus. Yeah.
Awesome.
Billy and I first went to camp and met in 2005. And from that point on, we really had a connection because his mom lived in Upper St. Clair. I was a police officer here at the time, and still working. And of course, that led us into a lot of things in common to talk about. And so from that point on, we just stayed in communication and kept going to camps together. And in 2010, we were coming up for the camp, and we actually came up to visit and visit Pittsburgh, and he visited his mom, and I got to be friends with her.
And she lived across the way,
lived
right?
Right across the way. And we decided to come over here to this field, which was just built, and it was a cornfield. Obviously, that's why we call it the Field of Dreams. And we had a catch. Played a one-on-one game, and talked about it, and said how cool it would be if we would have the campers come up and play a little bit, and warm up for the next day. Because realistically, at PNC Park, it's great going down there and playing, but you only get 1 hour. And our mantra was 1 hour is not enough.
Yeah.
So we ended up organizing a day of baseball. We actually pulled it together in 2 months. When we decided to do this, pulled it together, got everybody organized, and we had 2 games that day. We had a little charcoal grill that we bought at the dollar store, bought some hot dogs and some waters, and from that point started the Field of Dreams games.
And so how many of the campers come up now?
Well, everybody's invited back to Pittsburgh for the reunion.
From Bradenton?
From Bradenton. Everybody that plays in fantasy camp in January is invited back, and the date is determined by the Pirates' schedule. So we then figure out when they're playing the reunion game, and then we schedule this games today on the Friday before. So
how far in advance do you have to schedule this to have this field?
Well, as soon as I find out from the Pirates. Sometimes it's at fantasy camp. Sometimes I get a little head information, a little warning from Joe Billadu. And then what I do is immedially contact the township and secure this field.
Okay.
Generally Fridays are pretty open, especially in May. The kids are in school, and there's not much going on.
Right.
So the playoffs for the local Pittsburgh area high school teams happening now, but they generally don't play at this field on Friday, so it kind of gives us an opening. So we schedule it as soon as possible, which is really cool because when we first started doing this, that 2-month scramble involved me pulling some strings and asking for some favors from the township, and they were gracious enough to allow us to use the field for free because there was a charge to use this.
Yeah.
But when they heard our story and what we wanted to do, they
for
said,
the charities.
For the charities, they
Yes.
said, yeah, don't worry about paying us, just forward that money on to charity, and they've been so supportive of us. The grounds crew out here takes care of everything for us. They prepare the field. They're just wonderful out here.
So we give kudos to and thumbs up to Upper St. Clair
Well, Upper St. Clair Township Parks and Rec,
Yes.
and the township as well, because they're both involved in that. The Public Works Department for sure, because they manicure this field. This field is as nice as any major league field you can find. It actually rivals the fields down at Fantasy Camp at Pirate City. It's that good.
It's beautiful. I mean, this is a beautiful facility.
And you can imagine, this was a cornfield. And that's why we named it the Field of Dreams, which is really great. So it's just been so special. And of course, this is our 9th year doing it. We've raised at least over $17,000 for charity. And that charity is a check to the Pittsburgh Pirates Alumni Association, and then they distribute it through the community to different baseball functions for different communities and organizations. So we know it goes to a good cause.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now let's talk a little bit about you.
Okay.
Let's talk about you. I'm jealous because you're coming from Florida.
Yes.
But do a lot of the campers that come, are they coming from out of state, or
yes.
they're coming from out of state? Because I've spoken to some, and a couple from Ohio.
Yes,
and
as you know, Billy comes from Texas.
Yes.
We have another player from Texas. We've got Florida players. We've got them from just all over the place. It's just wherever they live. All across the United States. Well, the only thing we're just kind of disappointed that our long distance player doesn't make it. She lives in Fiji.
Well, yeah.
So we kind of cut her a break.
Yeah, cut her a break. But she makes it to Bradenton, though, right?
Does, and of course, sometimes she will come up and visit ahead of time and come back for the reunion games, and then she plays in these games too. But that's a long distance track, so we understand.
Yeah, that's very long distance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So, tell me about your number 71.
Number 71 was specifically chosen because the year that I had this number was the anniversary of the 1971 Pittsburgh Pirate World Championship. So I wanted something unique that probably no other player in the camp would have that number. I try to be a little unique. Everybody wants 21 or 8 or, you know. But I took that one and I just kept it. It just stuck. And that's why I wear it. I've had actually a bunch of numbers over the course of my 14 years at camp. I started out with 33, it's my lucky number. I did 4, 11.
Why is 33 your lucky number?
I don't know. It just seems to have been one of those numbers that stuck with me, and it's just brought me great luck.
It's done you well.
Yes. So 33 is my number.
Nice, nice. I have to try that.
Absolutely.
I have to try that. Maybe it'll rub off a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
Carl's in the house.
He's been taking pictures all day.
It's a good day when Carl's around. Yeah. We got our new Amish player right here. Yeah.
But we can't bring dancing girls.
The squirrel was about, my mom passed away 2 years ago, and her nickname was Squirrely. So, on her behalf, and in tribute from my mom, my son Jared had this made up for me, this pirate bag with Metlin up here and the squirrel symbol down here in memory of my mom.
I didn't know if we were going to play because of the rain, but it hasn't rained, and it's good to play baseball anytime. Enjoy it all the time.
I'm playing at the charity games today. I'm playing all 3 games in memory of my 7th grade science teacher, Thomas Christian. We got talking one day when I was in 7th grade and found out that he liked, we were both Pirates fans, and he told me, in fact, he said, I used to play with the Pirates. That got me excited. So I brought my autograph book the next day and had him sign my autograph book. And I said, tell me about your career with the Pirates. He said, well, we played 1 game. I was in the minor leagues. He said, I played 1 game in the morning. They put us on a train. I played a 2nd game in the afternoon. They put us on a train. I played a 3rd game at night. He said, I'm done. He said, if he can play 3 games in a day, so can I.
But tell us about the camaraderie here. Tell me why you come to fantasy camp.
I come to fantasy camp. Even when I'm not playing fantasy camp, I go to Florida and sit there and watch them all week because they're all my buddies.
They're your buddies.
It's like being Army buddies or something. You know, once you're together, it just stays that way. It's great.
Wonderful. How long have you been doing this? Since 2002, you said?
2000 was my first year. Yeah, I didn't do every year, but
okay.
I've done 9 in Florida and like 6 at PNC, and I do this every year because it's a blast.
Okay, and what position do you play?
That's the problem. I have to keep switching. Catcher is my primary position, first base, third base.
Okay.
Catcher because once you kneel down, you don't have to get up to the innings over. So that's good.
And can you get up?
After the innings over, you have time.
Tell us what it's like being out here with the guys and playing, and what position you play.
I play right field and second base.
Okay.
I love it. These guys treat us like guys, and they know that we have as much love for baseball as they do. So we're just part of the group. I love it.
And the camaraderie is like,
yeah,
bar none, right?
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing it?
This is my 4th year here doing Field of Dreams, and I've been down to Fantasy Camp 2 years, and I'm going down next year in 19. I do every other year. So
Nice.
It's good.
Nice. So when you do this, it's all about doing it for fun, but you also do it for the Pirate Charities.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
That means a lot. I think the Pirates are a great organization. They do a lot for the charities. They do a lot for, there's a Miracle Field here for the kids, and I think it's great, and I just like being a part of it. And I also work at PNC Park. I'm a greeter.
Oh, well, then it doesn't get any better than that, does it?
I give out the promotionals on the weekends, and I just love being around baseball.
Nice.
Just love it. Just love it.
What brings you here?
Well, I've been a lifelong Buccos fan ever since the 1972 League Championship Series between the Reds and the Pirates. I was watching Roberto Clemente, and I just fell in love with him and the team at that time, and I've been a Pirate fan ever since. And
you said Clemente?
Yeah. I saw your jersey. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. I have relatives who moved to Pittsburgh several years ago, so I've come out many summers to see the Pirates play. January of 2017 was my first fantasy camp in Bradenton, and I went back again this year, and it's just a lot of fun.
Nice. The camaraderie is just...
Camaraderie is great. Getting to know the former players is a lot of fun. And just, of course, to get away from the snow and the cold in January and go play baseball for a week, can't beat that.
So you're from Pittsburgh?
I'm actually from suburban Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, same snow.
Well,
same,
yeah,
same
weather.
cold,
Yeah,
same cold,
that's
yes.
for sure.
So what's your number?
16.
16, okay, and why?
Probably because I think it's sacrilegious to put any other name on the back of number 21, which I would have worn Clemente, so I went with my second favorite player, Al Oliver.
Okay.
Number 16. So.
Okay, and you've met him?
I have. Yeah, he was at. I met him about 20 years ago at a minor league baseball game. Very nice man. And then the last 2 fantasy camps, he was there, and I spent a lot of time with him. Great guy, just a tremendous guy, and very fan-oriented.
Nice.
So yeah, that was probably the biggest thrill of both camps for me, was to spend extensive time with him.
Now, what does fantasy camp mean to you as far as giving back to the charity?
Well, any opportunity to give back to a charity is certainly time well spent. So, enough said there. It's something I enjoy doing, and again, play baseball.
And have fun doing it.
Can't beat that.
Have fun doing it.
Wish the weather was a little bit better, but it held off.
Yeah, well, the rain's gone, so, well, I won't say gone, I'll just say it held off. Yes. Okay, what's your name?
My name is Kurt Rusher.
Kurt?
I'm from Akron, Ohio.
All right.
Yes.
So you traveled a little bit to get here.
I did travel a little bit today to get here to play some baseball. Okay. Having a blast so far. This is game 3 for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. From Bradenton or from coming here? Just today.
Today
oh,
game
the
3.
game 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've gone to the fantasy camp in Bradenton.
Yeah, I've gone there twice so far. The next year will be my 3rd year.
Okay. And how are you loving it?
It's a blast. I love it. Some of the fun memories of it is when the Orioles guys come in and they saw our ice cream cooler, and those boys rated it like they were 4 years old. They destroyed that thing. They saw it, it was game over for that.
Oh my God.
The ice cream cooler didn't have a chance with the old Orioles guys coming in.
Neither did the ice cream, right?
Yes. It was a wreck after they got done with it.
And that was down?
That was in Bradenton.
In Bradenton.
Yes,
so this past year?
I think it was a couple years ago when they did that, yeah. But every time the Orioles come in, it seems like those guys argue to come over to Bradenton because they know how nice we have it. So it's a good time playing those guys. It's a lot of fun.
Nice. So each year you come here or go down to Bradenton. Tell us why you do that.
The first year I went down was with my dad. So we did it as a father and son in 2016. It was a blast.
Your dad's into baseball too?
Yeah, that's who got me into baseball, was my dad. So we had a blast. He grew up being a Pirates fan, so it got me being a Pirates fan. So we just had a blast in 2016. It was great. Just happy there with my dad.
Nice. That father-son thing.
It was awesome.
That's awesome. So now you come here, and what's the pinnacle of you coming here?
it's the bond with all the guys and the girls, because you make friends down there and it carries over up here. You just have a good time playing baseball.
Nice.
It's a good time. Yeah,
Nice.
it's competitive, but no one. It's just good to be here with everybody. It's a blast. It really is.
Now, do you take off work for this?
I did take off work. Yes, I took off work today for this. Yes. Work. It's a sick day. Yeah, so I'm playing pretty well being sick
Yes,
today.
yes, you are. Yes, you are. Shh, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. You're busted.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's all right. So when you're playing, we know that you're doing it for the camaraderie. We know that you've made all of these friends, but how do you feel about playing for the charities?
It's great. It's great because growing up, they gave so much to us watching them. So now that we can give back to them, it's a blast.
Awesome.
It's a blast. Yeah.
Awesome.
And I like being down there with the old timers and like hearing their war stories.
The war stories.
They're just so
you
great.
learn so much, don't you?
You do. You learn about how the game was when they played, and now and you can see how different it is now from when we play it now. So, and it's good to hear how they played. It was a blast.
And how things have changed.
Yeah.
Now, in your opinion, have they changed for the better or changed for the worse, or?
I think the players are better than they were now than they were then because of just how they take care of their bodies. Because back then, you know, they were drinking beers and smoking heaters in the dugout. They don't do that anymore. So.
No, it's more like wellness.
Yes, absolutely.
Health and wellness.
Absolutely.
So what number are you?
I'm number 11.
And why?
My dad was 12, so I was number 11.
Okay.
So,
right behind your dad.
Right. Yep.
As you have been enlightened.
Exactly. So I'm on deck.
Okay.
I gotta go.
Metal, baby. Just like the pros.
So tell us, why do you come to these games?
This game or
this game, fantasy camp, all of the above.
Love of baseball, and then when they talked about this game being over here for charity, it's a no-brainer. It's just to come over here, play, get together with all the guys that you played with before down in Florida. So it's like a no-brainer.
How long have you been going down to Florida?
This past year was my 3rd year. I skipped a year. My wife needs a vacation every once in a while. So did 3 out of 4 and been over here now 4 out of 4.
Nice.
So and plan on next year. Unfortunately, is another vacation year for my wife, but I'll be back here again.
You'll be back here again.
Yes.
So are you from Pittsburgh, or where are you from?
Originally from Pittsburgh, but now I live north of Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
Made a little trip over here.
Little trip to play with the fellas.
Yep.
And the ladies.
And the ladies.
Yes, absolutely. Well, so how long did you say you've been coming to this one here in
4
Pittsburgh?
years.
4 years in Pittsburgh.
4 years.
Okay, and you're enjoying it.
Oh, every time.
Well, wonderful, wonderful. Well,
And we've had good weather every time.
Yeah, well, today, well, as long as it just holds up a little while longer,
yep,
we're good to go.
Okay.
What brings you out here to the Field of Dreams, besides playing baseball?
It's good for the charity, but you know, and we look forward to it. It's like being a kid again out here.
Absolutely. And you go to Bradenton?
Yes.
Okay. How many times have you been
This
there?
coming year will be my 8th year.
8th?
8th.
Wow.
Well, I started, my kid said to me, Dad, you never do anything for yourself. So I saw this. So before my 65th birthday, I went and I figured I'd be one and done. And it was just so great. I felt like a kid again. And I've got bad legs. I got neuropathy in my legs, so I really can't run anymore. But I can still hit.
You can hit.
So I said, as long as I can hit, I get
And somebody else around, yeah. It's all good.
I'm in good shape, so I'll go as long as I can do that.
Now, tell us about the camaraderie.
Unbelievable. You know, you play with the guys. They've all played ball before.
And ladies.
Yeah, and ladies too.
Yes.
Yes. And everything comes back to them. You know, they're knowledgeable about the game and how they play. They just don't have the same skills they had 40 years ago. But it is
well,
fun.
some things have to change.
And it matches. So it's competitive games. And Teak always says they try to give you the feeling of being a Major League ball player. And they do. We have our locker rooms down there. You know, they clean our clothes and shine our shoes before every game. And we travel to the Baltimore camp this year.
Okay.
So we got to see like a traveling game. So it's just a good time, and that's why I said I'll continue to go as long as I can at least stand up and hit the ball.
Nice. Now tell us about the charities.
Well, Pirate Charities, Kevin started this, so it goes to the, I'm not real familiar with
the alumni charities.
The alumni charities, but yeah, well, they started this, and that's what it was based on, so
Yes.
we all contribute to it.
Nice,
Okay.
nice. And it's just so wonderful to be giving back, isn't it?
Yes.
So what's your number?
13.
Okay, tell us about your lucky number 13.
Well, I married my college sweetheart, and she was born on July 13th. And my first bicycle license number was 13. And so 13's just been in my life all the time. Unfortunately, my wife died from breast cancer.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I've met another lady, and I got married again 3 years, almost 4 years ago. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah. She wasn't born on the 13th, though. But,
That's
can't have it all
okay.
the time.
That's okay. That's all right. So tell us about your patch and what that means to you.
Oh, it means that we're playing on the Field of Dreams, and you know, it's special. We get to play a whole game before we go down and play at PNC Park. But based on the weather, we may not be playing.
Now, the fact that you're playing here, it's not an all-day play, and I'm understanding that when you go down to PNC, it's only like for an hour. You play for
that's
an
just
hour.
to give us a chance to play on the field. But when we go to break,
On a pro field.
Yeah, we play 2 games a day. So we play in the morning and the afternoon.
Okay.
So we're used to playing ball, yeah.
Yeah.
In order to give everybody a chance, and then I think there's special rules that we have to be off the field by a certain period of time when there's a ball game in the evening.
At PNC?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And that's not PNC rules, that's Major League Baseball.
Oh, okay. All right. So when there's an evening game or a game at any time, you have to be off the field.
Off the field so many hours before the game starts.
So they can re-prep it and everything.
So we've got 16, and we play an hour. So you get the bat, you get the, and then we always let the younger people who never did it before go first,
Okay.
so they can get the experience. Like I
Yeah.
said, this is my 8th year coming up, so I got to do it quite a few times.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. What would you tell a young person, since you've done this quite a few years, what would you tell a young person that wanted to get involved with the Field of Dreams and the Pirate Fantasy Camp as a whole?
I tell you, you're never too old to have fun. And, you know, as you do this, it just makes life that much better, that you got something, a passion or something to do.
Yes.
You know, it's you can all sit back and play video games or do stuff, but it's nothing like being on this field and being out there and playing ball just like the pros, only not with as much
They
skill.
say play ball.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much
you're
for
welcome.
sharing
You're
for
welcome.
sharing your story with us.
You're welcome.
And go Bucks.
Yes. Unbelievable season this year.
Unbelievable. I know. Unbelievable season.
And that shows you what happens when everybody contributes.
Yes, when everybody comes together.
You don't need a superstar. You just need everybody to contribute. That's all you need.
There you go.
It's just been a thrill, first of all, just to be here and be able to play in this beautiful ballpark and this team that I picked up. We won the game, that's great, but it's all for a great cause, and we're just happy to be here, and thank God we're here. Thank you so much.
Could you please tell us why you are here at the Field of Dreams?
Well, because I love baseball and I work hard, and the first time I got here was a Father's Day present from my family.
Oh, nice.
And it's one of the nicest presents I've ever had, and the camaraderie. Love to play baseball, still love to play to the day I die, and it's a great experience.
Do you go down to fantasy camp often down in Bradenton?
I do, and I also go to one at PNC, and we all kind of are like family. We get together and we play, we get between the lines, and we compete, and we play hard, and we have fun. And it's just a great time. It's one of the nicest things I've ever done. It's really, you get between the lines, you feel like a kid again.
Yeah.
You remember what it's like to be a kid. And that's
like
always
going to Kennywood.
Yeah, that's right. It's always a nice thing to play baseball.
Nice. So, tell us a little bit about what you do during the day when you're not wearing a Pirates uniform.
Well, you probably know, but I'm the police chief at the town of McCandless Police Department.
And you were the police chief where? Before that?
I was the chief of police for over 10 years in Oakmont.
Yes.
And I also, most of important is I am a police chaplain. And so it gives me a good opportunity. What a wonderful way as a police officer to serve, and of course you know that.
Absolutely.
So I feel real blessed, and I thank God I can do it. I have a wonderful community, and I enjoy every day the opportunity to do something positive in somebody's life.
Rico. Excellent.
That's
I love
a
that.
pretty neat thing.
I love that. Yeah. Tell us about your number 61. How come your number 61?
61. My high school football number and hockey number.
Really?
Yeah, so I just kind of carried it on as a tradition, and my two sons were 61 also.
Absolutely.
So it's just
fabulous.
kind of a number. I got it when I was a sophomore, when it wasn't a popular number, and then when I got better, I was captain of the baseball and football team, but I kept it because you should always stick with what got you there.
Yep.
So 61 is a traditional number for the DeSanti house.
And it works.
It does. It works.
It works. So tell us a little bit about why you play. And I am going to assume that, first of all, you play for fun, but then there's the charities that you also play for.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we donate and do a lot of things for Pirate Charities that do such wonderful things for everybody in the community. So you get the opportunity to be here today, the camaraderie of playing, and some money goes towards some really good causes. So it's a home run, no pun intended, all the way around. It really is.
Yes, it is.
It's just great. You get, like I said, just so much fun. So much fun.
Now, what position do you play?
I play everywhere. I can play anywhere.
You're a man about
everywhere. I try to keep in decent shape, so wherever they need me to go, the manager points me in the right direction, and I go. I
and you're there.
Pitch, and I do. I play probably every position over the years.
Nice, nice. Well, what do you think about this Field of Dreams?
Oh, it's beautiful.
This is a beautiful facility out here.
Beautiful facility. It's awesome. I've just taken it all in, and the view and the field is so well manicured and like a professional field. And what a great thing Pirate Charities has done by all the use this field gets.
Yes,
and it's a privilege to play on it today. Really enjoying it.
Yes, and kudos to Upper St. Clair too.
You bet. Thank you, Upper St. Clair. Yep.
You know,
and
for
good people.
absolutely.
And Kevin, who was served there as an officer for many years, and the relationship of getting us on the field, and the grounds crew and all the people who gave us the opportunity to play here today. Because look, I'm happy.
It's fabulous, isn't it?
It is.
It's fabulous.
It really is. It's good stuff.
Tell us why you're here.
Well, I went to fantasy camp for 5 years in a row. I retired from I was a millwright in a steel mill, and I couldn't play ball for 40 years. I raised a family. I went to fantasy camp for 5 years. Then I stopped for a couple of years. And last January, I decided to go back. And I play softball. I'm from Oil City. And my wife came down one day to the ball field after we played a game, which we'd won. And she don't like ball. She's sitting right over there.
Is that her?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's a loving wife. But she came down and I found it unusual. And I had 4 brothers. There's 5 boys.
Okay.
And this was July 31st of last year. And she come down and tell me that my older brother had died.
I'm sorry.
And my other younger brother, he was 62. I'm 66 now. I went up to tell him because I knew he was getting bad. And I found him deceased.
Oh.
So I lost 2 brothers on the same day. And so this January, I thought, you know what? An old guy that played ball, I said, Tom, if you want to do something, do it. And I think I'm going to go back to fantasy camp. So this coming year, I'm going back. And I enjoy it. And these guys, since I've been there 5 years, it's like a family.
Good mix, Ralphie!
It doesn't matter whether you win or lose.
It's just having a good
It's
time.
having a good time and don't get hurt.
Right, and don't get hurt, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're doing all of this because of the camaraderie, your love for baseball, and you're also doing it for the Pirates Charities.
Yeah.
Tell us how you feel about where your heart is with that.
You see people that are handicapped. In fact, I stayed down here at an inn there and see the lady there, and poor soul, I had 1 arm. And the children, you know.
Yes.
I played ball since I've been this high. You know, played on the Quaker State team, Pony League baseball. And at the time, at one time I was pretty good. But anyways, it gives them an opportunity to play. And I think that's wonderful.
It is wonderful. Yeah. It just, something about that doesn't get any better than what it is.
I love baseball, and we're going to end this right now. All I can say is go Buccos.
Go Buccos.
Ralph Fuchs.
Okay, Ralph, what brings you to the Field of Dreams?
You know what? This is my first year I went to fantasy camp.
Okay.
And I went with 3 high school guys I graduated high school with. And they've gone before, and they kept saying, hey, it's going to be a time in your life because I love baseball. All of us do. So I went to fantasy camp, and we're all getting together this weekend and we brought our wives down for the weekend, so they'll all be in here and some of our families, and so we're playing ball today.
Nice.
Kick it off.
Awesome. So. Yeah, kick off the weekend. So are you from Pittsburgh, or where are you from?
I'm about an hour and a half north of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Around Sharon, mid-transfer, Pennsylvania.
Okay, all right, yeah. Yeah, I know the area a little bit. I've traveled that way a little bit. So your first time in fantasy camp in Bradenton was this year?
That's correct.
This year, and this is obviously your first time here.
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the camaraderie, what you're gaining here today. What is your feeling?
You just get a lot of friends, you know what I mean? Everybody is kind of built out of the same mold, that they love the game, they love baseball, they love the history, they love to see all the ex-Pirates, you know, there were coaches in Bradenton, so it was really cool. It was really cool.
So you're number 24. Why 24?
My middle son, Nicholas, that's his number when he pitched in college, so that was the number I chose.
Nice, nice. And when you, how can I say this? What's the pinnacle of your being here? I guess that's what I should say. I mean, I know it's for the game. I know it's for the love of the game, I should say, America's pastime, if you will.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying is the charities that you're playing for as well.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, right. I didn't realize this was a part of the charity games and whatnot, and when I got the email and you know, I just couldn't pass that up. So I know Kevin Kabalik does a lot for that, and he, you know, he does a lot for the game. When he was in Bradenton, you can see he's one of the leaders out there, really on and off the field, and everybody has a lot of respect for him. So
he's very dedicated, and committed to baseball. But more importantly, he's very committed to fantasy camp. And making all of this happen, and especially here in Upper St. Clair.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about this field?
It's awesome. Yeah.
Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, we like them. I love them all.
You love everything, don't you? Look at you. You're like a kid in a candy store, you know?
I told you know, our buddies that I graduated with, you know, we're in the group text, and I woke up this morning and it was just like, man, this is like Christmas Eve, boys.
Yeah.
We're playing ball today. So.
What brings you to the Field of Dreams?
A big heart, the work that Bill Sirakis and Kevin Kabala do to help children brings out the best in everybody. We've raised, I don't know, $9, $10, $12,000 over the years. The money goes to help handicapped children be able to enjoy a day like this.
Wonderful, wonderful. And do you also go to Bradenton?
I go to Pirate Fantasy Camp this coming January, since my deposit in will be my 15th consecutive year. I come here to help disadvantaged and handicapped children out by donating some money, and also the opportunity to see these great guys, and especially Bill Sirakis and Kevin Kabala, who do a lot of work to get this set up. Kudos to Upper St. Clair to donate the field. The umpires help out, and the Pittsburgh Pirates make sure we have bats and catching equipment.
That's awesome.
It is.
That's awesome.
I'm blessed to be here.
So how long have you been a part of the Pirates Fantasy Camp?
I've gone 14 years in a row. This coming year will be my 15th.
So what are your thoughts about this beautiful facility, this Field of Dreams, that emerged out of the cornfield?
This is a first-class venue. I mean, between the soccer fields, the ball fields, I think that the people who live in this area have a wonderful resource here.
Absolutely.
I wish more children would take advantage of it.
It's beautiful.
It is well maintained. They found footage of Game 7 of the 1960 World Series in Bing Crosby's basement.
Oh my.
And it was the only known copy. And if you saw the condition of the infield when they played Game 7 of the World Series in 1960, you would be shocked. They were bare spots. You come out to something like this, look at this, it's green,
it's beautiful,
and it's serene.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
It is.
It's beautiful. Now, let's talk about your number 0. What's the significance?
You know what? There are so many great players in Pirates history. You know, the 21s, the 8s, the 9s, the 7s, the 22s now with McCutcheon. I'm just the O.
You do?
You know, I appreciate all the predecessors and the great men who walked over the chalk stripes. So, and I'm not good enough to wear a 21, so the 0 works for me.
Oh, well, Mr. 0, we really appreciate everything that you've done and to contribute to all of this out here, and to contribute to the Pirate Charities. I mean, that in itself is awesome.
Well, I'm blessed to have the good fortune to be here, to have the ability to at least walk onto the field, and for that I'm blessed.
So tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'll be catching behind the plate again, at least 1 inning. It is fantastic to step behind home plate and look at the vista of Pittsburgh from that venue. It is truly inspiring. But I can tell you, once I get in the crotch, the only thing I see is the mound.
I see on some of the baseball hats, I see stars. What do the stars represent?
The stars are the Stargell Stars. They are now part of Pittsburgh baseball folklore. So in 1979, Willie Stargell came up with the stars when they were wearing the pillbox hats. And he would give a star out to a guy who made a great play, was a great player, was a great teammate, and it was recognition of the teamwork that went on.
Okay.
So a lot of guys like to get a star now and be part of that Pittsburgh tradition. And there's 2 types of stars out there. There's the S, which is the Willie Stargell star, And then after Chuck Tanner, God bless his soul, passed away, they came out with a star with a number 7 on it, which was Tanner's uniform number. So there's 2 types of stars out there now.
Boy, you have a lot of history. A lot of history to
Well,
share, but you have a lot of years behind you, though.
These gray hairs, yes. I have a lot of history.
A lot of history with the fantasy camp, too.
I have to tell you, Joe Bilodeau does a great job. Nellie Browse, God rest his soul, really brought it into the forefront, and Kent DeColvey has taken those reins and kept the tradition going.
Tell us why you come to fantasy camp. What does all of this mean to you?
Well, Vernon Law was the first autograph I ever got when I was a kid. And so when I heard they're having the reunion of the 60 series, I came, got to meet my childhood hero, take him and his wife out to dinner. They're wonderful people. Got some pictures with them. Did the same thing in 2013 when he came back too. But also the Pirates are really special to us because like the Jim Croce song, I'm living the dream that he can't live.
Yes.
My dad worked in Forbes Field as a kid, and he used to catch. Do you remember, I want to say Satchel Paige, not Satchel Paige, the guy with the Evis pitch. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name now. I hit too hard at second base. Anyway, he had, he hurt his foot all season, so he came in 2 hours a day early and paid my dad and his friend $1 a day alternate to catch for him, so we could develop a new pitch, so he didn't get out of the big leagues. So that's great. So my family's been there, and as we were driving out today, or yesterday, my dad said, he said, hearing you talk on the phone, he says, I wish I could play again.
Aww.
So we're Pirates people. Dad actually hit the ball over 457 mark in Forbes Field once.
Really?
Yes. He wasn't sitting at home plate then when he did it.
Oh, I was going to say, what an arm. Dad had an arm on him.
Yeah, so even though we're way out a little northeast of Philadelphia, we'll never change from the Pirates.
Oh.
We're Pirates true and blue.
Awesome. Pirates true and blue.
Glad to be here, and I had some bad health 3 years ago, and then all of a sudden...
you could never tell it now.
After a year and a half, my CAT scans were clean.
Nice.
So hopefully they'll stay that way, and that's why I signed up to play all 3 games today. So I wanted to run my little legs off.
Awesome. Number 32.
Yeah.
Tell us about your number.
Number 32, it happens to be Vernon Law.
Yes.
So that's why I got his name on the back of my shirt.
Yes.
I've had people say, you advertising for your business? I said, no, he's my hero. In fact, one of the neatest things we did, I told you about a post picture. So in 2013, when we finished the last game, we were playing against Vern's team. I said, would you pose for a picture with me? He said, yeah, what do you want me to do? I said, you pitch, I catch. I'd never put on catcher's gear in my life. He said, give me a few pitches to warm up. I said, you got it. He threw them, I caught them. The good Pirate staff took my pictures.
Nice.
So we got a great picture of me catching, and both of our names were showing Crewman and Law on the back of my shirt. I'm catching those pitches.
Nice.
So this has been really, really a great opportunity. And I like the camps at PNC Park too. I've been there as well, as well as the ones in Bradenton.
And what do you think about this beautiful facility out here?
This is a really great camp, and it's a wonderful opportunity to help raise money for a charity.
Absolutely.
It was fun telling people at work, I'm going to go play baseball for a charity. Driving across the state to do it, and didn't get in until 1 o'clock last night. But
you're here today, and you're here today.
We're having a blast.
That's right, and
this
you're
is
playing.
Fantastic, and I told my team, Crewman's Trenchers, that I'll make an extra $10 donation for every run they put on the board. So they're all highly motivated.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for being with us today.
It's been a wonderful thing. Hope you have a blessed day too.
You as well.
Thanks.
Tell us how long you've been coming to fantasy camp, and what does this mean to you, being out here in the Field of Dreams?
So I'm a 6-year camper in Bradenton, and it's a blast. And coming out here to the Field of Dreams is just such an added bonus. So you obviously go to Bradenton for a week, and then tomorrow is the reunion where you get to play 3 innings at PNC Park. But the guys that put this together to do an extra day where you get a full day of baseball, it's just phenomenal. And I played in game 2, and my best friend was the opposing manager, and so we had a little rivalry going, and the game was just so much fun. It ended up 6-3, really close, and it was just such a blast.
Wonderful. Now, what do you think about the Pirates organization allowing you all to, have the uniforms, you know, be able to have the equipment, and I mean, that has to be an extra bonus in itself.
They are strong supporters. Joe Bilodeau is the man.
That's what I keep hearing.
That's right, and he is fantastic. So he supports all of this. The Pirates organization standing behind their fans, the ones that feel proud to wear the uniform. I've actually been to a few fantasy camps for other organizations, and so I can tell you without a doubt that the Pirates Fantasy Camp is the best. In Bradenton, the ability to stay in the dorm rooms and to wake up and go right to the cafeteria, eat breakfast, another 50 feet, you change your uniform, and then 150 feet you're on the fields. It's just, you know, that by
doesn't
itself
get any better than that, does it?
It's an amazing experience. They treat you like a ball player, and this is just first class with the food that Kevin Kubala and his buddies keep coming out and doing. It's just a fantastic day. I mean, you don't have to worry about anything. You just show up and play ball.
Just show up and play ball.
And they tell you where to go, and it's like, this is great. I love it.
And you know, I just think it's so awesome that all of the people show up from different parts of the country, and they all come together. So talk about a little bit about the camaraderie that's shared.
So I live in Texas, so
so you came from, okay,
yeah.
so you came with,
So Bill lives in San Antonio. I live in the Houston area.
Okay.
So it was different flights, but my buddy lives in New Jersey, so this is a chance for me and him to get together. So that's an awesome experience. But the team that we had in Bradenton this year, so a bunch of the same guys are here today, and it's just so great seeing them again.
Such a great reunion.
And realizing that they are your true friend, and you know, you have the same passions towards baseball, and they're just great guys, and yeah, the camaraderie is second to none. My famous story is that, you know, for fantasy camp, you get 100 guys showing up for 100 different reasons, and at the end of the week, you all leave with the same one, which is the camaraderie, which is the experience that you've had with the teammates that you've had, getting to know them and seeing, you know, that there are others out there that have the passion that you do towards baseball.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Number 18. Why number 18?
Growing up, I am a Mets fan. I'm still a Mets fan. My guy was Joel Youngblood. He was a utility player. He got 2 base hits in 2 different cities on the same day. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records for that. I don't know, he just was the epitome of, you know, basically show up to the field, everybody takes their position, and whatever's left over, that's what you take. I mean, that's what he did, that's what I do right now, and it just kind of worked out that way. But so he was my man, and I've been to a few fantasy camps where I actually got to meet him.
Oh, really?
And
great.
It was a fantastic experience. Yeah. So it's not Andy Van Slyke, I'm sorry, Pirates fans, it's not Jason Kendall, it's my man Joel Youngblood.
But you know what, you have such enthusiasm in your voice and on your face. It shows on your face that you really, really are impassioned about this and you love it.
I do love it. I mean,
as well as some of the other guys that I've spoken with. I mean, you all have a genuine, passionate love for baseball.
And it's so great that you can find 100 other guys that care about what's going on. You know, out here, you know, we're not out here to win per se. We're out here to have a good time. And everybody shares that same, you know, thought of what we're doing out here, and it's just the best time. You know, when you're at camp in Bradenton and, you know, you're there for the whole week, you know, just for everybody to have that same focus and, oh, we're going to play this team and, you know, what's going to happen here and there, and, you know, just because everybody cares. If nobody cares, then it, you know.
Exactly.
But they all do, and it's just fantastic.
Exactly. Now, the pinnacle of all of this, in my opinion, is you all out here, you're playing, and you pay to play, and that money goes to the alumni charities for the Pirates. What is your thought on that?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just fantastic, the idea that Kevin worked with Joe Bilodeau to set all of this up, to have a higher cause, really.
Yes.
You know, we love being here, but, you know, the idea that you can put an extra couple bucks towards helping charities, I mean, it's just fantastic.
Doesn't get any better than that.
It really is. It's fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much for talking to us.
Oh, my pleasure.
Continue to have a lot of fun, and go Bucks.
Let's go Bucks.
That's right. Tell us what it means to you to be able to umpire these games in the Field of Dreams.
It's a It's great. This is my 7th year doing it for the 9 years that they've been having them here at Upper St. Clair. It's just a tremendous day to come out and to be able to give back.
Excellent, excellent.
It's a great honor for the charity and for what they're doing here, and you know, to be out here with these guys and have a little fun. It's definitely worth being out here.
It's great to just get out and play baseball.
That's right.
What do you think about this facility?
Facility is tremendous. We umpire other games on this field, and it's one of the nicest around. So you can't thank Upper St. Clair for everything that they have done for this event. And like I said, the facility has been tremendous.
It's beautiful.
Oh, I think the same thing too. It's a beautiful facility for the high school and for the kids to come out here and play, and for the adult leagues and summer leagues. You really can't ask for a better field than this.
So, gentlemen, how was today?
It was awesome. What do you think, Joe?
I concur. It was definitely awesome.
Yep.
Everything that you expected it to be and more?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the wild card is always the weather. We had a few sprinkles, but it didn't deter us from having a good time, and it didn't stop the games. So it was great.
And what did you say the Lord did?
Oh, there was this front coming up, and it was coming up towards Pittsburgh, and the front actually parted when it got to the field. So what happened was the Lord looked down and he went whew, and blew the clouds away from the field.
And we had our Field of Dreams ball game today.
Absolutely, 9th annual. We got it in again. Not a rain out, never.
Excellent. Never a rain out.
Never a rain out.
Never a rain out.
Excellent. See, he knew what he was doing.
Absolutely.
And we don't take it for granted, though. I mean, you know, we start the prayer power before we, you know, get up here.
Amen.
And of course, we've also got our ace in the sky up in heaven, Reverend John Zingaro, who is a longtime fantasy camper, passed away a few years ago from cancer. And we know for sure he's looking down on us and keeping an eye out.
And probably Nellie Browse, too.
I would say
imagine Nellie Browse, you know, who originated the fantasy camp. You know, he was a pirate pro, and he is the one who put the whole thing in motion. And
actually, it was there for our first year in 2005. Yep. Nellie was the leader of the camp, and that February after we left camp, Nellie was golfing up in Claremont, Florida, and was on the golf course and passed away. And so we didn't get a chance to really spend a ton of time with him here at camp, but he's definitely always there with us. And of course his son David, who comes to the camp every year, is a great representation of his father. So you know, we've got the family involved.
So now that this is all over, now that the day is done, now that you can like finally breathe, who do you want to thank?
Oh, well, first and foremost, I want to thank this guy for being there in 2005 at Fantasy Camp and meeting me and getting this ball rolling. I mean, we've become best friends over the years, and without his inspiration and coming over here and having a catch, this would have never happened.
But the feeling is so mutual, because without this guy's organizational skills, this thing would never happen. I mean, this is Mr. Organization.
So you compliment one another.
2 peas in a pod.
All right, all right, that's excellent.
Absolutely. Well, obviously, besides thanking each other, we have to thank Joe Bilodeau and the Pirates organization for their support of this. You know, the first year we did this, Joe kind of looked and said, I don't know, it sounds, we'll see what happens, you know, but he threw his support behind us, gave us the equipment to use, and of course we proved ourselves that first year, and it's just taken off ever since.
It's been a success ever since.
Absolutely. Every year it gets better and better.
Yeah, I mean, the support of the Pirates has been fabulous, and the support of the community, like with the guys who cook, Kenny and Robbie. I mean, the food is just outstanding. You know, and it gets better every year. Yeah, and those guys donate their time.
From that $2 charcoal grill we used the first year from the dollar store to a full gourmet meal. And, you know, actually, you know, Kenny Nolte, who is a police dispatcher in Upper St. Clair, obviously one of the guys I used to work with, he volunteers his time to come out and cook for us. Uncle Kenny's Barbecue, and he and Rob McMaster, who is a sergeant for the police department, Ralph Lemack, who is a retired police officer, come out and put on the spread for us. They come out early on and stay till everything's cooked up and ready to go. So we really appreciate that. And while we're talking about thanks for the facility here, Roseanne Geyer, who is in charge of the concession stand for the Athletic Association here, just jumped on board and said, hey, you know, our concession stand is yours to use, and it makes everything much better.
Oh, it makes it
first
so
class,
much easier.
First class. So, you know, thanks to Roseanne for doing that for us. It's really, it makes life wonderful today.
And the grounds crew here, the folks that take care of this place.
Yeah.
This place is phenomenal.
It is,
Ken
it
and
really
Pete
is.
And the rest
Oh,
of the
yeah.
guys, Ken and Pete and the rest of the guys, we've got this field in shape, and then we're here all day making sure the trash was taken care of, that everything that we needed was taken care of and attended to. So we couldn't do it without the Public Works crew as well. They're just wonderful people. And of course, the Township of Upper St. Clair, who really got on board with this, and when I went over and asked for a favor and said, hey, can we use the field? And they gave it to us for free. There's no fee involved, so all that money that we would be spending on field use is going to charity as well. So the Recreation Department and all of the people over in the Township Administrative offices, they've just been wonderful to us, so we appreciate all that they've done for us over the years.
I think we ought to thank the campers too, because I mean, those guys, if you noticed when the game was over, everybody was grabbing, what can I do, what can I do? They were sweeping the dugouts, they were putting a tarp over the mound, you know, it was, where's your truck, Bill? And they had all the equipment, because Kevin and I have to take the equipment down to PNC Park at 7:15 tomorrow morning, because that's the equipment that they use in the games at PNC tomorrow.
Games, yes.
Yeah, and so, you know, they before I turned around, they had all that equipment sitting out there at the truck, ready to go, all bagged up, and you know, I mean, that makes it so much better for us.
And then, to top it off, one of our campers, Jack Troutman and his wife Cheryl, who are ardent Pirates fans, they're fanatics. They live here in Upper St. Clair, and they invite us over after this is all over. We go up there for a feast and to watch the baseball game and for some more camaraderie. And
sweet Cheryl always gets me a watermelon.
Does she?
Oh,
So
she
you'll
does.
have your
I'll have my watermelon, absolutely.
And then at the end of the night, we'll head back down to the hotel, get a few hours of sleep, head down to the ballpark in the morning with the equipment.
Do it all over again.
And we have to play in the second game at 9 a.m. We have to defend our championship. We're going to play Paulie Metlin's team this year, and do it again. And then we get to go to the baseball game tomorrow night at PNC Park. But what's really cool about that is we get invited down. We all gather at the right field alley down there at the circle, and then we get led into the stadium. We go stand on the outfield warning track, and we are introduced to the crowd individually up on the scoreboard. And then they
up on the jumbotron.
And then they generally do a video about fantasy camp, and then we get to go up to our seats and have another feast and watch the ball game. So it's just a wonderful weekend altogether.
Nice. And Carl will capture you on camera, right? We'll put you up on the jumbotron.
Absolutely. We love Carl. We love all the video and photo guys. They're just wonderful people.
You know, all this, I mean, the fantasy camp, the Field of Dreams, the reunion games, everything. It is one of the most fun things I've ever done in my life. It truly is.
Yeah, absolutely. It's awesome. And of course, we also have our crew upstairs in the morning. That
Joe Klimchak,
and Mike Rotman.
Yeah.
Mike Rotman comes down to fantasy camp and he helps out with the camp. He's one of the scorers. But Joe Klimchak is legendary at the ballpark because he does all the in-between inning stuff, and he volunteers his time to come out and call the first game for us and play some music. And of course, Clyde Warren, who sings the national anthem for the first two games, is awesome.
Oh, I spoke to him
yes.
earlier.
And Gary Sam's.
Gary Sam's.
He sung it really well.
Yeah, he did. He really did. A cappella.
Yeah.
You know, that's not an easy song to sing a cappella. It's not an easy one to sing with music.
Absolutely.
It isn't.
But what a wonderful day. And, you know, we just are so happy to do this for everybody. And it's just, for me, it's just so much satisfaction to see these guys come out and actually get to play the sport that they love. And then to get to go down there again, we warm them up for tomorrow so they're ready to play. So it doesn't get any better than this. I mean, this is the best thing in the world.
You know, when I spoke with a lot of the campers today, they are so energetic. They said they feel like a kid again, that they were able to get out on the field, they were able to play with their friends.
We won't feel like a kid tomorrow morning, though.
Well, hot shower might take care of that.
That's right.
But they felt like kids. They just raved about the camaraderie, and of course, they raved about both of you.
And you guys were here for the whole thing.
and you never heard one cross word out on that field.
Not one. And usually when
Yeah.
you get a lot of guys together, you may hear a slip of the tongue every now and then. There was never a slip of the tongue. You know, they treated the ladies like they were ladies, the lady players, the campers.
But they treated them like ball players.
But they
too.
treated them like ball players.
One of the team members.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Part of the team, but they still were ladies.
And they love that. They
Yes.
want to be just accepted just as a ball player. They don't want any special treatment.
And
they
that's
just
what
want
they said.
They go hard, they play hard, and they're just one of the gang.
And that's awesome.
If we're pitching and one of them comes up, we try to strike them out. We don't try to let them get a hit. That's none of that
well,
stuff.
that's not the game.
Exactly.
That's not how you play the game.
No, we're playing to have fun. We're
There's
playing
no
to win,
mercy.
though. We're playing. We want to win. Everybody.
There's no
wants
mercy
to
in
win.
baseball.
We have donated in the past, 9 years. It's looked like we're gonna be around $18,000 given to Pirates Alumni Charities, and of course they distribute that through the communities in the greater Pittsburgh area. And a few years back, we also donated money for a brick for the Miracle Field over here at Casey's Corner.
Nice.
So Sean Casey, who played for the Pirates, was obviously the mayor of Cincinnati, but we love him here in Pittsburgh. But we donated a brick over there to support his efforts and charity. And you know, it's all good. That's what it's all about. We're here to give back to the community. And,
Sean Casey wore my number.
Did he really?
Yeah. I had it first because I'm a lot older than him.
Exactly, but you know, the whole idea is just to have fun and to give back to the community, and I think we've accomplished that.
I think you're right.
And I think you have. I want to thank both of you, Bill, Kevin. Thank you so much for just being here with us today, telling us about the fantasy camp, sharing your dream, your vision, and sharing it with those other campers as well. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that.
Exactly.
You're absolutely
exactly
right.
right.
That's
It
a
doesn't
great
get
way
any
to end
better.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, there you have it. The boys of summer, Kevin Kabala and Bill Sarakis, two giants when it comes to organizing the Pittsburgh Pirates Fantasy Camp Reunion Games here in Upper St. Clair and at PNC Park. It was my extreme pleasure to share the day and learn exactly why Kevin and Bill and all of the players do what they do. Throughout the interview, you heard many of the players speak of their passions and commitments, not only to the game, but also their gratitude to the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. Not only do they play for the love of the game, but for an opportunity to reach out and help others through the Pirates Charities. Baseball, the Field of Dreams, and the Pirates Fantasy Camp Men and Women of Summer. What an amazing group of people. To learn more about the Pirates Charities, you can go to the Pirates website at www.pirates.com. You can also follow the Pittsburgh Pirates Fantasy Campers on Facebook. And now, on a much sadder note, recently, our Pirates lost an original member of the 1979 We Are Family World Series Championship team, Bruce Eugene Buster Keeson. He died on June 2nd, 2018 at the age of 68. Bruce joined the Pirates at the tender age of 21 and pitched for the Pirates from 1971 to 1979, winning 2 World Series rings as a Pirate, one in 1971 and the other in 1979. Years after his retirement and as a coach for many of the Pirates fantasy camp teams, Bruce cheerfully passed along his knowledge of baseball, his competitive spirit, and goodwill to all of those who coached. He will sorely be missed. Thanks for watching our show today. You can follow us on YouTube under Let's Talk with Diane Richard and on PCTV Channel 21. Please subscribe and learn more about the many unsung heroes in our greater Pittsburgh community. If you have an unsung hero story and would like to be considered for our show, please email us at letstalkwithdiane@gmail.com. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Let's Talk.